The air was still in the forest, punctuated only by the soft rustle of leaves. Shadows danced gently on the ground, cast by the branches above. The disciples sat around the Buddha, their faces showing weariness and confusion. Ananda, his closest follower, looked troubled, his gaze fixed upon the earth beneath him. The weight of his thoughts pressed heavily upon his shoulders, dimming his usually bright spirit. "Blessed One," Ananda began, his voice shaking, "I feel weak. The path ahead seems steep, and my heart feels heavy." The Buddha turned to him, his eyes full of compassion and understanding. The golden rays of the setting sun bathed the gathering, wrapping them in warmth. The Buddha spoke, his voice steady and serene, a source of calm amidst the turbulence. "Ananda," the Buddha said, "do you see the small seed lying on the ground?" He pointed to a tiny seed nestled in the soil. Ananda looked at it, confused but attentive, as the other disciples leaned in to listen. "This seed," the Buddha continued, "seems fragile and insignificant, yet within it lies the potential for a mighty tree." The disciples exchanged glances, intrigued yet unsure of the connection to their struggles. "The seed does not question its strength," the Buddha said, his voice imbued with wisdom. "It simply seeks what it needs to grow, the embrace of the soil, the warmth of the sun, the life-giving rain." Ananda's expression softened as he considered the Buddha's words, the metaphor stirring something deep within him. The forest seemed to hold its breath, the world itself listening to the lesson being shared. The Buddha continued, "Strength is not found in the absence of struggle but in the courage to keep growing despite it." The disciples nodded, the truth resonating with their own inner battles and doubts. The Buddha gestured toward the trees surrounding them, their trunks strong and branches reaching for the sky. "These trees were once seeds, just like the one before you," he said. "They did not fear the challenges of growth. They simply allowed themselves to be nourished." One morning, the Buddha said, the farmer awoke to find a tender shoot emerging from the soil. The disciples exchanged glances, the stories unfolding evoking a sense of hope and possibility. The other disciples sat in silent reflection, the lesson settling within their souls like seeds taking root in fertile soil. "Let the teachings be your nourishment," the Buddha concluded, his voice a gentle yet powerful guide. "Let mindfulness be your sunlight and compassion your rain. You are all like the seed, carrying immense potential within." The forest seemed to echo his words, the rustling leaves singing a quiet hymn of affirmation. Ananda felt a warmth growing in his chest, a newfound resolve taking shape within him. A young disciple hesitated, raising his voice with trembling courage. "Master, how does one find strength to release what binds?" Buddha's eyes softened, his tone gentle as the morning breeze. The Buddha then gestured to the forest around them. "Look at these trees, Ananda. The seed," the Buddha added, "does not doubt its ability to become a tree, nor should you doubt your potential." The disciples sat in silence, the profound lesson settling within their hearts like a gentle rain upon parched earth. The seed of wisdom had been planted in his heart, its roots already beginning to grow. The grove felt like a sacred sanctuary, a place where truth and strength had been revealed. "Blessed One," Ananda said, his voice steady now, "I will nurture the seed within me and walk this path with faith." The Buddha smiled, a gentle acknowledgement of the journey that lay ahead for each of his disciples. The night descended, wrapping the forest in its tranquil embrace. As the disciples carried the teaching within them, their journey continued. But now they walked with a newfound strength, inspired by the lesson of the seed. Anand turned to him, his voice faltering as he spoke. "Master, I have tried, yet success eludes me still." The Buddha listened intently, his calm gaze resting on Anand's troubled expression, his silence inviting him to share further. Another day, another step forward on the winding path through the Himalayan foothills. The disciples walked together, their silence heavy. The mountain loomed ahead, its peak shrouded in clouds, an imposing challenge to their resolve. Each step felt like an eternity, their breath growing labored with the strain of ascent. The Buddha walked calmly, his presence a source of quiet strength for those who followed him. His disciples glanced at him often, searching for solace in his unshakable serenity. Among them was Chandra, a young disciple who had shown great promise yet now faltered beneath the weight of doubt. Her eyes fixed upon the distant summit, her heart was gripped by fear, the path seeming impossible to conquer. She stopped by a rock, sinking onto it, her shoulders slumped in defeat. "Blessed One," she said, her voice trembling, "I fear I am not strong enough to reach the top. The mountain feels too great." The Buddha approached her, his footsteps light, his gaze filled with compassion. Each failure, the Buddha said, taught her something new, each crack revealing a lesson hidden within the process. She refined her techniques, adjusted her methods, and approached her craft with renewed resolve and humility. He continued. She looked into his eyes, seeking understanding, her breath shallow, her heart burdened by the enormity of the challenge. The mountain offers itself to you. Step by step, moment by moment, the Buddha continued, his voice resonating with the rhythm of life itself. It is not the summit you need to overcome, but the doubts that weigh upon your spirit. Chandra felt her heartbeat slow, the warmth of the Buddha's words penetrating the coldness of fear in her heart. The cracks you perceive within yourself are not flaws. They are spaces through which light enters and wisdom blooms, he added. Each effort you make, no matter how small, shapes the vessel of your being, refining and strengthening you, he said. Anon, the Buddha said, his voice tender yet firm. Trust in the process and embrace the lessons concealed within each challenge. The disciples listened in silence, the lesson settling within their hearts like seeds carried by the wind. Ready to take root in life, the Buddha said, his gaze sweeping across the group. Obstacles may appear insurmountable, but they are not walls. They are paths waiting to be walked. Chandra raised her head, her trembling hands clutching the rock beneath her, her spirit touched by the truth of his teaching. The strength to endure lies not in reaching the end, but in honoring each step. No matter how small, Chandra stood, her legs still weary but her heart now filled with determination. The Buddha smiled at her, a gentle encouragement, a quiet acknowledgement of her courage. Let patience be your guide, the Buddha said, his voice a beacon for those who struggled, and let faith in your journey be your solace. The disciples nodded, their hearts uplifted, their doubts replaced by the seeds of hope and perseverance. Together, they began to ascend once more, their footsteps merging with the rhythm of the earth beneath them. The mountain seemed less forbidding now, its presence transformed by the teachings shared in its shadow. Each step felt lighter, each breath deeper, their spirits united by the strength born of understanding. The grove returned to silence, the echoes of wisdom resonating within its stillness, promising growth to those who listened. Another day, Anand sat beneath the wide canopy of the banyan tree, his heart filled with a quiet sense of progress. The disciples climbed with renewed determination, their eyes fixed not on the distant peak but on the path directly before them. Chandra glanced back at the rock where she had faltered, a smile touching her lips as she realized the transformation within her. Yet, despite his newfound peace, he wondered whether he had truly unlocked the full potential he sought within. The Buddha approached, his steps light as if guided by the rhythm of the earth, his presence a beacon of calm. The Buddha turned to his disciples, his gaze soft yet piercing, filled with the wisdom of countless paths walked before. Remember, he said, his voice carrying over the sounds of the mountain breeze. It is not the summit that defines your journey, but the steps you take to reach it. The sun began to dip below the horizon, casting the mountains in hues of gold and crimson. The group paused, their hearts filled with gratitude for the beauty around them and the lessons shared. The Buddha stood silently, his presence like the mountain itself, steady, unyielding, yet inviting. The disciples continued upward, their spirits lighter, their bodies filled with the quiet strength of perseverance. Chandra walked ahead, her steps firm, her heart filled with a resolve she had not known before. The mountain loomed as a companion now, no longer an enemy, its path a testament to the power of faith. The seed lay dormant, surrounded by darkness, unaware of the light that existed beyond the murky water, he said. Despite the weight of the mud, the seed held within it a quiet potential, a latent promise of transformation, the Buddha added. The Buddha sat with them, his gaze fixed on the horizon, his presence a beacon in the dark. The mountain whispered its blessings, a silent witness to the transformation of those who walked its paths. But the seed persisted, driven by a faint yet unwavering belief in a purpose greater than itself, the Buddha added. As it pushed upward, it encountered the still waters, a new challenge that tested its resilience and determination, he continued. Through patience and perseverance, the seed broke through the water's surface, reaching the open air for the first time, the Buddha said. There, it began to bloom, its petals unfolding to reveal a beauty that had been hidden within all along, the Buddha added. The mountain stood as a testament to their journey, each step an affirmation of their strength. The Buddha led them onward, his teachings a light that illuminated their paths, guiding them not just upward but inward. The summit awaited, a distant goal, but the strength they had discovered carried them forward, their hearts filled with hope. Each step brought them closer, their spirits aligned with the rhythm of the earth, the mountain a companion on their journey. The disciples climbed, their doubts replaced by the power of perseverance, their journey a reflection of the truths they had learned. The Buddha walked beside them, his presence a reminder of the strength within, the mountain a symbol of their shared journey. Together, they ascended, their hearts united, their steps a testament to the power of faith and patience. Another day, another chapter of their journey unfolded by the serene lake nestled at the base of the towering mountain. The disciples sat in silence, their reflections mingling with the calm, mirror-like surface of the water before them. The air was still, the only sound the occasional rustling of leaves as a gentle breeze passed through the grove. When your actions are rooted in love and understanding, they will naturally align with your true purpose, the Buddha added. Like the lotus, rise above the mud of doubt, bloom with grace, and offer your essence to the world, he continued. His face bore the weight of inner struggles, his thoughts swirling like the surface disturbed by the breeze. Father, Rahula said, his voice tinged with doubt, my fears are vast, and my mind feels trapped by the ripples of uncertainty. The Buddha turned toward him, his serene presence calming the air around them. The Buddha approached Rahula, kneeling beside him, his gaze fixed upon the lake's surface as he began to speak. Rahula, observe the water before you, the Buddha said, gesturing toward the lake, its ripples now fading into stillness. When disturbed, the water loses its clarity, but when calm, it reflects the truth without distortion. Rahula looked into the water, his heart heavy with questions, searching for answers that seemed elusive. The disciples leaned closer, sensing the gravity of the teaching being shared, their own minds filled with unspoken uncertainties. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video. Fears are ripples upon the surface, the Buddha said, his gaze steady upon the water, passing disturbances that cannot touch your true self. Rahula nodded faintly, his expression softening as the wisdom of the teaching began to take root within him. The Buddha gestured toward the still waters, their surface now reflecting the sky with perfect clarity. Beneath the ripples lies stillness, unshakable and serene, a reflection of your inner strength, the Buddha said. Rahula listened intently, his heart finding comfort in the simplicity and depth of the words. The ripples of doubt slowly fading, the disciples sat together, their hearts touched by the teaching, their connection to the lesson deepening as the lake reflected the truth. Strength is not found in resisting the ripples but in trusting the stillness that lies beneath them, the Buddha said. Rahula bowed his head, his heart warmed by the wisdom shared, his doubts shrinking in the face of understanding. The grove seemed to hold its breath, the air vibrating with the energy of transformation. The disciples united by the profound truth. Breathe deeply, and let your thoughts come and go, like the wind passing over the water, the Buddha said. Buddha nodded, his eyes reflecting both sorrow and wisdom as he acknowledged the disciples' observation. Indeed, it longs for freedom, but its longing is bound by this cage, an obstacle it cannot overcome without help. Its wings are meant for flight. The lake shimmered in the sunlight, its surface a perfect reflection of the clouds passing gently across the sky. Rahula rose to his feet, his heart lighter, his spirit calmed by the stillness that had been revealed. The disciples meditated by the water, their minds aligned with its serenity, the truth of the teaching settling deeply within them. The Buddha stood, his gaze upon the horizon, his presence a silent guide for those who followed his path. Buddha bent gently, opening the cage's door. The bird hesitated, its wings pausing mid-beat as it sensed the path ahead. The grove felt alive with the energy of understanding, the air vibrating with the truths that had been revealed. The disciples walked together, their steps lightened by the strength found within them, the lake's reflection a constant reminder. Rahula followed closely, his heart filled with a quiet determination. The ripples of doubt now distant echoes. The journey continued, the Buddha leading them forward, his teachings illuminating the path not just outward but inward. The disciples carried the lessons like lanterns in the dark, their doubts replaced by the calm of understanding. The stillness within them became their guide, a source of unshakable strength for every step ahead. This is the paradox of toxic relationships. We cling to them, fearing the void their absence might leave in our lives. Together, they walked, their hearts united by the truths they had discovered, their steps a testament to the strength within. Thank you for watching. Buddha's teachings are always with you. Subscribe to our channel and we will see you in the next video.